r/ask Reddit. What type of people annoy you even though they're not actually doing anything wrong? People who cannot communicate clearly over text. Do you need a ride or do you want to meet there? Yes, see you soon. Unfortunately, this is my so. I now no longer give her open-ended choices. I assume one choice and phrase it that way. If she doesn't like it, she can explicitly say so. Yep, especially with food. She'll say I don't care. I'll say okay McDonald's then and all of a sudden she has an opinion. It's crazy. When someone tells you to do something while you're ducking doing it. Just reading this made me angry. I don't know what it is about this particular action, but it makes me want to immediately quit what I'm doing and start working on their face with a baseball bat. I don't even mind being told what to do, but this shit makes me irrationally angry inside. Hey, you should check your unread messages. It's been read for a while now, or if not it will have been pretty soon. If you don't check it, you might end up like I did once with hundreds of unread messages, and that's a total pain to dig through later, one page at a time, clicking context on every other comment because you've forgotten. So yeah, check your inbox, dude. Get it out of the way. People who get themselves hung up on details that don't necessarily matter when telling me a story. I was talking to Susan Monday, or was it Tuesday? Oh wait, it must have been Sunday. Shoot, was it Monday? I don't ducking care. Get on with it. I'm pretty guilty of this. I just want to create the most accurate representation of what happened, and I bet I am annoying as duck when I do it. I need to work on that. Just get more general. I was taking to Susan earlier this week. People that tell me to smile or look more excited. How about you duck off, pal? The reason this drives me to contemplate murder is that people that do this are either unwittingly patronizing or worse, deliberately patronizing in the most passive-aggressive way. Many believe that pimps began their killing spree when a stranger on the street told them to smile and be happy. Whether or not this is true, what is known is that pimps killed over 128 people that day with military-grade firearms and ammunition. There are still 47 missing people believed killed and or abducted by pimps, and 13 individuals were found yesterday hanging from meat hooks in a nearby slaughterhouse. Authorities report that the injuries are consistent with pimps' profile. The police are warning the public to mind their own business and remember that just because someone isn't smiling doesn't mean that they're having a bad day. They could be completely unaware of how their face looks, introverted or just tired. People who stand a little too close when they talk to you. Try going to countries where the concept of personal space doesn't exist. It is so very uncomfortable. Found the European who went to Latin America. People that spend 5 minutes trying to make a mundane story that could be told in one sentence interesting. Edit. Relevant for pretty much every response that I have received. Edit 2. Relevant for those with short attention spans. But how can you understand the story of where I adopted my dog if I don't tell you what kind of coffee I ordered this morning and what I was wearing? There's a long story behind this nickel. It takes me back all the way to 1953. I got up in the morning and made myself a piece of toast. I set the toaster to 3, medium brown. People who take ages to say goodbye. It was so good to see you. We need to do this more often. Let's get together again soon. We can do lunch. I know. Can I leave now? The Minnesota goodbye. The thing that makes it a Minnesota goodbye isn't the length of the goodbye. It's the fact that you don't mean a single thing you say during it. I wonder how many people realize what Minnesota nice really means. People that chew loudly. People that breathe loudly. People that bite their silverware. I share an office with a compulsive gum chewer who chews with her mouth open. Please shoot me now. I told her it bothers me, but she hasn't made much of an effort to stop it. I have resorted to chewing gum too so I can drown out the noise, and it sucks because it hurts my jaws. People who invite me to their terrible sales parties. Don't worry, you don't have to buy anything. I'm just doing it as an excuse to get together and drink. Who needs an excuse? Just say I have beer and food. Come over, and we'll all be there. You don't fool me. Don't worry, it's not a pyramid scheme. If you have to say that, it's a pyramid scheme. Slow walkers walking in front of me. And when people stop in the middle of the sidewalk to look around. When people stop at the top of the escalator to talk. Chronic complainers. I once had a boss that would always be injured, on crutches, etc. He once complained about his back pneumonia. I think your boss might have been a machine trying too hard to blend in humans. Edit. Trying too hard to blend in with humans. Damn it. Edit 2. Trying too hard to blend in with humans. What the duck is wrong with me? People that are 100% sure of their religion. I grew up religious and could never bring myself to trust someone who didn't have doubt. Welcome to the Mormon religion. I'm a devout member, but I have become one through questioning what I hear/read through the church. Unfortunately, too many people in the church let themselves be devout without questioning, and then start to isolate themselves from the rest of the world because they can't relate to their questions and doubts. Honest question. If you have become devout through reading listening, why are you devout? Surely if you've listened enough it would turn you away. The people who are in my way, I often have to remind myself to be patient because not everyone moves at my pace. This mostly happens when I'm driving or when I'm walking through a store. I know where I want to go and I just want to be there, but someone is lollygagging in front of me. Can you imagine if sprinting was socially acceptable? Like if I could run through a store, pay and then run out, I would be so happy. Just look at video games. We run everywhere and or drive at the maximum possible speed. Walking in video games is unbearable. I would love to be able to run through stores. Beeline it to what I want. Beeline it to the checkout. Beeline it to my car. Overly loud people. Why are you yelling? IT's even worse when they talk normally yet have to shout at 200 decibels when they're on the phone, like what the duck? Because my hearing isn't so hot when there's background noise. To me, I feel like a normal volume is a whisper and you won't be able to hear me. People with no spatial awareness. You must love cats. People who put themselves down when trying to compliment or make others feel better at it. I feel like people misunderstood what I said, but I meant it in that when people do it, it emphasizes their low self-esteem, and it makes me sad. There are other ways to compliment people where you don't have to bring yourself down. Because if I embrace a compliment, I'm afraid people will think I'm full of myself. Compliment them back. Jill, hey, that's a really nice shirt on you. You, thanks. It's one of my favorites. I like your hair today. Jill, thanks. You, wanna grab coffee this Friday? I know a good place. Jill, yeah, let me see if I'm free that day. Edit. It sounds forced and awkward if it is forced and awkward. Find something you actually like about them. People who obnoxiously brag about how drunk or high they got, unless there's a funny story to go along with it. I don't care that you blacked out last night, stop saying it like I'm supposed to be impressed simply by the fact that you drank. What annoys me more though is people who constantly tell you how drunk they are while you're drinking. You've had 2 light beers in an hour. Quit flopping around and saying I'm so drunk right now. Or the people who casually drop the fact that they are currently drunk or high into their Reddit posts, especially when it's painfully obvious that they are 12 years old. Man, I was way to high for this comment right now. I smoked weed. People who listen to things without headphones. To add on to this, people that use their cell phones in public in speaker mode, on the train, bus, in a store, in line at a food joint, etc. Children and people trying to sell me something when I don't want to be. Girl Scouts outside of a grocery store. It kinda drives my girlfriend nuts, but I am very harsh with salespeople. I say no politely once. If they keep pushing, I say I said no. And then if they keep pushing, I become an absolute dong. I'll say things like, are you deaf? Or do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? I work in sales, and I get that it's your job to sell me something, but duck off already. If somebody says no to you twice, that is not your invitation to continue asking. Edit. I meant this in regards to salespeople, not Girl Scouts. Sorry. I'm going to try this. It's really annoying when you have those outgoing like 6-year-olds that don't get that they are pushing boundaries by pestering you to buy. People who allow other people to cut in line. Especially in a traffic jam. When I see someone speeding along the shoulder then trying to get in up ahead and someone lets them, it pisses me off. The person driving on the shoulder is an a-hole. The person who lets them in is just avoiding an accident. There's not much you can do to prevent the a-hole from succeeding. The best response is to hope that karma catches up to them. Drivers who slow down to let me cross the road when there's no one behind them. If you just kept going, I could cross once you passed. Instead I wait for you to pass. Only you watch you slow down and wave me over. Twice as annoying if I have kids with me. If there's no one behind you, you aren't doing me a favor. You're just making it harder to teach my kids when it's safe to cross the road. Or when there's 2 lanes and someone in the lane closest to me stops to let me go but the cars in the other lane are still going. And the driver is waving at me to go. Like, mother ducker, you're not making this easier for anyone. Chronic whistlers. My husband whistles everything. If he's listening to a song and it's live, he whistles the screams of the crowd. If a commercial comes on, he whistles sounds from the commercial. I's incredibly happy while he's whistling, but duck me, I'm going crazy. He whistles the screams of the crowd. WTF, does that even sound like LMAO? Yeah, seriously, that's ducking hilarious. People who hold the door for me when I'm nowhere near it yet. I recognize that they're doing it to be nice, but it creates a pressure where I now have to do the half-assed jog to get to the door. Then I have to thank the person for doing something that I could have easily done when I reached the door on my own time. I recognize that they're doing it to be nice. Wrong. It creates a pressure where I now have to do the half-assed jog to get to the door. This is why we do it. To control you into looking awkward for our amusement. My policy is, if the door will close itself in the time it takes you to get there, leave it. Overly nice happy people. Truly, they're good people, but there is just something about them that bugs me. Edit. I don't mean naturally happy people, or people just trying to get through their day. I mean people that bubble their insincere happiness into your personal bubble and don't take a hint to back off. There could be a disconnect between what they are saying with overt gestures and their subtle body language that you subconsciously pick up, like fake smiles and stuff. Mothers who constantly post about being a mother. As a mother, I totally get what you're saying. When people you know have a secret among themselves, won't let you in on it, which is totally fine, but continually make reference to it in front of you. Friend 1, oh hey, how'd that thing go? Friend 2, oh, I'll tell you later. Me, what's that? Friend 1 and 2, nothing. It, duck-eyeing, infuriates me. Have secrets, obviously that's normal, but keep them secret. Don't make vague references to it in front of me and then refuse to let me in on it. Maybe I'm just weird, but it just makes me feel like shit, especially if these people are meant to be friends. Edit. I can't explain how happy I am that other people feel the way I do. Seriously, an incident like this happened a number of 4 months ago and I felt like some sort of crazy person for being so bothered by it. This sounds dongish, but people who collect money on the side of the road. I don't mean homeless people, but people with a bucket collecting something for charity. This one street I drive by every day has people literally bullying drivers until they open the window, staring at them, telling them they're selfish, etc. They should really just give people a pamphlet and let them make the choice on their own instead of being bullied into giving to a charity they've never heard of. I go out of my way to not drive on that road in the mornings now. There's great ways to go about raising money and this isn't one of them. Get a water pistol. As a matter of principle, I never give money to those people. They often don't get out of the way in time when the light turns green, which is dangerous, holds up traffic. There's no way of knowing whatever it is they are collecting money for is legitimate. Harassing me to look deeper into my center console for loose change is not going to incite any sympathy from me about whatever plight they are raising money for. People who talk only about themselves. M. Hi honey, how was your day? Cracks open can of worms. S. Oh, it was the worst. Let me tell you about the people I hate in ascending order. Double quote. M. Of course takes a sip. Of worms. Kids. I just can't feign interest when they're stumbling over their words trying to tell me about their new toy. I don't give a shit. Aiden. I had Power Rangers when I was a kid too. You're not special. Chuggers. Charity muggers. The vast majority follow the rules. They just say hello and don't try and follow you. But they're so upbeat and smiley when you dismiss them it makes you feel awful and you still feel incredibly uncomfortable. Maybe I should Sharpie unemployed on my forehead. I can't pay my own way, never mind donate to charity. When you say sorry, no cash on me and they say that's okay. We have a credit card reader too. That was supposed to be an excuse. Get out of here with your ducking clipboard. I'm just trying to get to work. People who drive below the speed limit for seemingly no reason. If you drive well below it and have no intention of pulling over and letting people pass when overtaking is impossible, I will shout and scream even if it is to no use. This annoys me very much, because I live right by the police station where the speed limit is 50 km/h. Yet people never drive above 30. Seriously, if you drive the speed limit I have no complaints. But if you drive 40 km/h in a 50 zone I will want your head on a stick. I know this will make me look like an a-hole but honestly I don't care. Edit. I should also mention, though I don't know what the law says in all the different countries, in Norway, driving too slow is illegal. How about the people who stop at the end of a road, see you almost right in front of them and they speed out into your way and cut you off, only to start driving painfully slow? There's a special place in hell for them. People who snore very loudly. I feel like an a-hole because I know they aren't doing anything wrong, and they obviously don't know what they're doing, nor are they doing it on purpose. The person in the meeting who always feels like they have to have input, even when it's nonsense or something that we shot down months ago. They're usually also the person who is tied to a ton of projects but when you look closely they don't really contribute anything. People with zero situational awareness. They crash into everything. They are rude out of stupidity, and they are usually engaged in some sort of incredibly inappropriate task for the situation. People who make everything a big deal. Gum on your shoe? Worst day ever. Forgot something at home? Why is my life this way? Said something to upset them? Why do you hate me? You do this all the time. Or my favorite example, I don't think that's a good idea. Response. What the duck do you know? You think you're better than me. People who clap when an airplane lands are the worst people. People who fish for compliments. There's this one girl I know who always says stuff like oh my hair is so ugly today or I have such a terrible singing voice and then pauses after she says it so someone will compliment her. The worst part is people like that often get mad when you don't compliment them. Honestly, people like that just make me want to tear my hair out. Edit. I actually got some great tips here and I am going to use some of them now. Thanks guys. Those guys who have to ruin a nice bonfire evening with their guitars and mediocre singing. Not everybody likes the same thing yet apparently all singing is what we are doing now. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content bruh. It's free and that's a great price.